No, you'd see it.
I wouldn't see it from where?
Yeah.
What would I see there? Oh, I see. And this is over?
No, no, this is on the internet.
Can you hear it on there?
Background noise, so.
Smile and laugh and have a good time, but we're doing something totally off.
What's the question?
I'm just wondering on this angle, do we need to get more that way?
This one.
No, I think we gotta,
The other way?
yeah, go the other.
I don't know what to tell you.
I think, that way I just wondered if we, you know what it is, because I'm thinking it's looking straight ahead, it's like it's not.
No, that's pretty good though. You got everybody's big watch here. Now we could go this way a little more. Or that way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sounds good. And this is just picking up, it's picking up people talking, just, so we don't even have the mics really on. That mic is big enough.
Good. This is a speaker.
How's it going?
Yeah, I just heard it tapping on it. Yes.
Good.
So that mic is picking up. And you get that. You get the monitor. So it's just picking up.
How are you? All right.
Oh, yeah.
Always, right?
But you get the same. You get the same little lag between.
Once they come into my collection, they're
Even here.
Till the day I
Well, no, it's just because for people at home, I don't know it's like. He knows it's like it's sitting right here.
I've heard of them. I've not been to one yet. Well, you gotta remember too, in the late 70s, early 80s, I was traveling all over the United States. And then I was all over South America.
Do after the fact.
So,
Once we get that uploaded, and we'll be able to check the screen after we save it, and just see if we've got any sound or video issues. If we've got any video, looks good. Sound better.
well, we're closed, yeah. But then you know that I don't know. You ready for this fight?
Hell no.
Hell. Yeah, yeah.
I'd rather be at the liquor store.
or whatever. So I tell you, so have a focus in the morning, 8:30. Okay, not gonna wanna, you know, trying to jump you off. But no, but I honestly don't have that answer for you. So, what's up? Okay. I don't know. If something happens, generator here, general manager. I haven't heard anything either. No, nobody said anything. You know all. Nobody said anything to me. I saw it on here this morning. I have no idea. I have no idea. Nobody said anything. And quite frankly, if something did happen, somebody up here should have wrote an internal system or whoever form. That's what I'm saying. And sent it down to the office. And doesn't that bring you in? It would. But obviously the ball will drop up here. Someone might be in there. That's between whoever is up here, whoever and I'm not part of it. But yeah, obviously, I know when it comes to things like that, yeah, something should have been picked up, and it would have been sent down to the office, which would have then went to Bill Carroll, but nothing.
Good evening. I'm glad to see you all here. I noticed everybody's, well, please remove your hats. Please, thank you so much. Is anyone recording here? Okay. Shall we stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the United of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have an approval of the minutes from May the 18th? Move to approve.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Motion passed. May I show of hands? Correspondence? Gail, please.
To the Board of Directors regarding the 4th of July Gulf Parade.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Okay. Is that better? Thank you. Okay. I think the mic is too tight. The subject is the 4th of July Golf Cart Parade from Mr. Jim Rowe. Per instructions given at the June 7th Board of Directors Workshop, I am requesting this to be read at the June 22nd BCPO Board meeting to notify you of our intent to have another golf cart parade on the 4th of July. I will be coordinating with Patrona Terman to prevent any conflicts with other scheduled events. I am also requesting permission to post a flyer in the parade route on both the front office and the clubhouse bulletin boards. Thank you. It's a little late, but we'll make a formal motion to allow the golf cart parade on July 4th in Brookridge. Meeting time is 12 p.m. at the clubhouse. Also to allow flyers and parade routes to be posted at the administration office and clubhouse. I make that motion.
I'll second.
Aye.
Aye.
And just, we're a little late, but we could not have the meeting last week, but we wanted to still get it on the agenda, even though the posters and everything are up. Is Mr. Rowe here? Oh. Would you like to come tell us a little bit about it, or you have to come to the mic? So the people in TV land can hear you.
Yes. There's not much to tell. Anybody who wants to come, decorate the golf carts or not. I got a parade route that I posted this time so people can know where it's at.
Okay.
About it.
Okay. And just for the record, if you state your name and your unit number.
My name is Jim Rowe. I think it's Unit 6.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. I hope you get a big turnout. I saw the route today. I was up looking at the stuff, and it's a pretty big one. And how long do you think it'll take?
About an hour.
About an hour. Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty group. You're going all over Brookridge.
Yes.
All over Brookridge. You're not forgetting any groups, any communities.
The only thing we're trying to do is avoid hills. Some of the golf carts have a problem.
Yeah. Okay. We understand that. And thanks, Jim, for doing that.
I want to start off with, last month, there was a question regarding the difference between the March and the April reserve totals. I've researched that, and what happened was, when our other bookkeeper left, a lot of the accounts on QuickBooks are locked. Some of the accounts were not unlocked, so they never moved over to the reserve account. They were in another account. That's all been taken care of, and it's been corrected. And the other thing we need to remember, that when you look at the top of your report, it says this is a summary. So there are times when the books have not been closed and the treasurer's report has been gone out. So I'm trying very hard to make sure that we close out the treasurer's month before these reports come out to the public. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them now or later. Okay? I want to go on to a few things. I know the audit is still, and I'm sorry, we seem to have an auditing firm that every time we turn around, they want something else. And it's made this very difficult for us, and I'm sure you all who would like to see the end result for 2021. Our reserve study is finished. We're just waiting for the hard copy. LiftMaster will be in the middle of August to do the outbound gates at the gatehouse. My next important thing to talk to all of you about is our access data system is dead. We can no longer enter anything in the system. Therefore, new people coming in, we can't issue them barcodes. We can't issue violations. There's a number of things that we use that access for. We have to get a new data system. We are looking into getting 3 quotes to replace it. Hopefully we will have those quotes next week, and then I will set a time for a town meeting. Anybody who wants to come, we'll let you know. We have to do 48 hours in advance. We'll let you know before, and you can come and we'll explain it to you. Okay, that's about all I have today. So I'm going to sit down, and I will tell you, Carol is not here tonight because she is not feeling well. So we're going to go on with Rosemary.
Summary Treasurer's Report as of May 2022. Operating account ending balance $379,663.15. Accounts receivable assessments $154,924.65. VRC fines owed $70,687.95. Liens on file 29. Assessment income $136,168.45. VRC fines $3,675. Other income $13,685.25 for a total income of $153,528.70. The operating expenses, administration for the current month, $24,962.88. Facilities, $22,868.39. Public Works, $15,700.16. Code Enforcement, $29,841.73 for a total of $93,373.16. In the reserve account, our interest for the month was $74.38. Year-to-date deposit, $182,280 for a balance of $2,121,661.37. Reserve expenses for Sun Toyota, $28,000, and the pump replacement at 5,500, and that was for a retention pond pump, for a total of 33,500. Donated funds, 23,810.55. Memorial Day event, 562.63. Memorial Day decorations, 4404. Reimbursement, 7157 for mulch. 5807 reimbursement for plants. Reimbursement for replacing the downspouts at the admin office, 101.72. And shirts for the members of the RV compound committee, $93, for a total of $931.03.
So moved to accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
Any discussion? I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to learn how to scream, I guess. Is there any discussion regarding the treasurer's report?
What is his son, Toyota?
Can you come up to the front here?
Name and unit.
Terry Johnson.
Oh.
Unit 1. Is that better? Yeah. Okay. Terry Johnson, Unit 1. What is his son Toyota for 28,000? Is that the pickup?
That was the purchase of the pickup, the new pickup truck.
Please come up to the front, sir.
Good evening. My name is Jim Westbrook. I'm in Unit 2, I believe. Jim Westbrook, Unit 2. I have 2 or 3 questions, if you could indulge me. If you could indulge me. I'm showing that there's a $48 monthly fee times 2,800 or so residents. That's $134,000 every month, or $1,006,000. The budget is $1,369,600. My first question is pretty simple. What are we doing with the $244,628 surplus that we would have from the revenues that should come in? That's just from the assessments with the expenses. I asked a similar question in February and couldn't get an answer, so now I'm here 5 months later asking the same question. That's question 1. Should I do all the questions or do a question answer? Which do you prefer?
Give the question.
Okay. Second question is, our total income, if I'm reading this correctly, through the first 5 months is $761,252.69. That's the total revenue that we got. That includes assessment, fines, and other income. And those various amounts, $680,000 for assessment, $17,000 for fines, $63,000 for other income, a total of $761,000. That's, when you divide that out, that's well exceeding what the budget is. Same question, what are we doing with that extra money? That's question 2. Question 3, at the 5-month point, we are at $525,000 total expenses when we're bringing in roughly our monthly budget is $114,000. So you can see there's another surplus there of about $235,000. So we're bringing in a lot more money than we're spending out. What's happening to that money? Under the reserve section, it shows interest of $74.38.
That's recurring, $74. You'll find that on several of the older ones, which should be changed.
If I could finish. Looking at the 5 monthly statements, January through May, the grand total is $165.23 in interest income. First question I have is that correct? And if the answer is yes, how is that possible when we have a $2.1 million? I did a quick check, 12-month CD. These are FDI-insured CDs, 2.8%, which would generate $58,800 in interest we got 165. We missed out on 57,000 and some change of interest. That's assuming we did the whole 2 million. Let's say we just did half and did 1 million. We would have gotten, whatever the math is, $29,000. So there's a big disparity. How are we missing out on that revenue? That 29,000 could have done a lot of other things. I have a few more, but for time, we'll move on.
Maybe Rosemary can answer most of those questions for you.
At the time, I will look into this further because I have just now taken, just a couple of months, taken over the treasurer, so I haven't gone back over the other treasurer's reports.
But some of those, a lot of those funds that are coming in, we have monthly expenses and they vary from month to month. So you have to, we bring the money in, but we might not pay like insurances or certain things that are only paid certain times of the year. As far as the money for CDs, there can be no money from operating budget into a CD because you have to have it on hand all the time. And every year as we do our reserve account, we have to have that much money out to be able to get that money. So the money that we know we're going to use for the year is in like more of a money market. So we can take out up to six times a year. So that's where.
So you're saying that of the 2.1 million, we have no money in CDs?
No, I'm not saying that.
What are you saying?
We probably have almost half at any one time. But right now, but you have also CDs that are coming due, that as they come due, because a lot of them were from the years that we were getting nothing, like 0.2%, 0.5%. So we have to wait for those. And as they come, I know that we've been doing it, I know Rosemary's been doing it also, that as they come due, where we can take them out and redo them, they're going into the ones with more interest on them.
Because
It just takes a while to have them all catch up.
in March, in May, and in June, the Federal Reserve raised the discount rate 3 separate times. A quarter point, a half a point, and 3/4 of a point. In July, they're going to raise it another half or 3/4 of a point, conventional wisdom is.
Right, and then, but that will, as they become due, because you have to wait for the CDs to become due before you can roll them over again. So we
Can you tell me how much total is in CDs of that 2.1 million?
We can get.
I do not. All 2.1 million. And why do we only have $165 in interest in 5 months?
That's not,
Most of them only got rolled within the last couple of months. So
Right.
The original, we have been around for a while. When
A lot of those got put away, all right? We're talking back in the 2017, 2018 era, and the interest rates were less than a penny on the dollar. So as those mature out and become available, we're rolling them over to the higher stuff. But just because they're locked in a CD at a set interest rate, doesn't mean that as the prime or the feds change their game, that they're going to change that CD to us, because that's not the way the banks do
No,
it.
I get that. She said all of the reserve money wasn't in CDs, and she's saying all of it is, which is correct. Okay, I don't have that balance sheet.
it says, reserve accounts are 21.
I don't want to take up any more.
Balance sheet,
I don't want to take up any additional time. If
Okay.
someone could give all those answers, that'd be helpful.
all right, thank you. Bob,
Madam President, I'd like to put a motion on the floor to just issue a case for this evening, let the board review it, revisit it at a later time.
thank you, may I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Thank you, Bob. Diane Steckelberg. Diane is joining the unit reps, so I'm going to swear her in. Let you fall down, Diane. He'll be right here with you. Okay, sweetheart. Diane, do you solemnly promise and swear that you will administer the office to which you have been appointed to the best of your ability and judgment in conformity with the governing documents of Brookridge community property owners, that you will in all your acts be governed by the principles of honesty, justice, and fair play, and in every manner possible endeavor to promote and safeguard the best interests of the citizens of Brookridge and the welfare of its members? Do you so swear? Okay. We've already finished our unfinished business. Our treasurer has new business. Rosemary?
Finance Committee appointments. Each year, the Finance Committee is formed to create a budget for the following year. The treasurer accepts resumes and then chooses members based on experience and willingness to serve in the community's best interest. My recommendation to approve the following to serve on the Finance Committee to create a viable 2022-2023 budget. The board motion to approve, the board to approve Daniel Bain, Sandra Kalisak, Anna Webster, and Tom Willington to serve on the Finance Committee.
May I have a motion?
Motion on the floor.
Okay.
I make that a motion.
Thank you, Bob.
To move forward.
Please, sir. This is not a joke, okay? If you can't contain yourself, you're going to be asked to leave and you'll be escorted out of the building. This is a business meeting.
May I have a motion to accept, or a second, may I have a second?
I'll second the appointments.
Any discussion? I think we have a couple here that want to discuss this. We discuss first. Is there any discussion of the board? If you're going to, yeah, and if you're going to talk into the mic, okay?
Linda Walls, Unit 4. At the May 3rd meeting, it was announced that resumes for the Finance Committee were being accepted until June the 3rd. In the packet Mary is handing out, you will find a copy of the minutes, and the statement about forming the Finance Committee is highlighted. In contacting the office, we were informed that you need 2 different forms to complete to put your resume in to be considered for the Finance Committee. I completed the 2 forms and submitted my paperwork on May the 5th, and Mary submitted hers on May the 6th. You will see them in your packet. When reviewing the agenda for tonight's meeting, we saw the appointments were being made for the Finance Committee, and the resumes for all 3 candidates are all dated after the deadline date of June the 3rd, and only consisted of 1 form. In the past, there have always been 5 to 6 residents on the Finance Committee, and this year only 3. At the May 18th BOD meeting, there was nothing said about the Finance Committee, and that you were still needing people to put in resumes for consideration. So how did these 3 know there were still openings on the committee? This leads us to believe you only received Mary's and my resume before the deadline of June the 3rd. So why didn't you make it known to the residents you were still accepting resumes for the Finance Committee after the deadline? How many resumes did you receive from May the 3rd to June the 3rd? And what happened to our resumes?
All resumes were considered. And the reason there was a delay is there was a legal issue that we had to clear up with our attorney. And until we got the information from him, how we could proceed, we did not proceed with naming a committee.
And why weren't we considered?
I went through the resumes and I chose those that I felt would be
And you're
work
just
in the
gonna
best
have
interest of the community.
3 residents.
What?
You're just gonna have the 3 residents.
There's 4.
One's a director. I'm talking about residents. You've got 3 plus a
We
director.
have 4. 4. Okay.
I feel like you're discriminating against us.
That's not true, Linda.
Yeah, I've been on the finance committee before. I don't know why you wouldn't select me.
Is there any other discussion?
Mary Story, Unit 6. Rosemary, the Finance Committee, correct me if I'm wrong on this. According to your proposal, you are asking the board to approve our President Anna Webster to serve on the committee? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Do you not think that's a conflict of interest?
It is not. As I said, we conferred with our attorney. He said it's not a conflict of interest, and it is not, there is nothing in the governing documents that says we cannot, that a board member cannot serve as a committee member.
Well, I disagree, because the Finance Committee is an advisory committee, and stated in your SOP 3.2, Section 2.1, which is in that paperwork, all committees are created and disbanded by the resolution of the board and fall under Florida Statute 617.08. Florida Statute 617 is corporations not-for-profit. 0.0825 is board committees and advisory committees. If you look at the Florida Statute 617, Section 8, it states that a corporation may create and authorize the creation of one or more advisory committees with any numbers of persons on the committee being non-directors. It is stated in the Florida Statute 617.
But the 617, 720 covers homeowners associations,
The
not
only ones that are,
617.
okay, and I agree with you, but there are only 3 committees that are exempt, and the paperwork is there also from the 617, which is not-for-profit corporations, which we are. And the committees that are not exempt from and allow directors is the Architectural Control Covens, obligations of members, remedies at law and inequity, levy of fines and suspensions, and organizing committees parcel owned. It's 720.3035, 720.305, and 720.405. And all of that is listed right in the paperwork you have there. So really it is a conflict of interest for her to be on there as a director. And that is stated right in the SOP 3.2 of our SOPs, that the 617. If you look in there, there's the 3.2, and it says all committees are created and disbanded by the resolution of the board, Florida Status 617.0825.
Thank you, Mary. I think your 3 minutes are up. If you need to talk later, you can talk in member comments.
There's going to be no reconsideration of my statements whatsoever. That's my question.
I have a letter from Steve Metzer, and it was dated May 19th. Brookridge needs clarification. It says, "Hi Carol, you are correct in your analysis that there is no reference to a finance committee in any of the governing documents, i.e. declarations, articles, and bylaw. The declaration in Article 8, Section 3 of the amended, restated, and consolidated restriction agreement makes it clear that the board is responsible for preparing the budget, and more specifically in the bylaws. There is no reference to the treasurer being responsible for the annual budget. The SOP that you refer to is, as we know, the guidelines on the operations. I have seen the SOP, but assume that there is no stated prohibition, the board could prepare the budget, but would have to have open notice meetings and minutes if there is a quorum of the board gathering as the finance committee per the SOP. If the board hired an outside company to prepare the budget, the board would remain responsible for its content, but that option is not prohibited. If that is the consideration, the board would still likely have to appoint itself to be the finance committee and then make the decision to hire a company to assist in the process. Candidly, Brookridge is a somewhat complicated community with some very unique aspects, which means that an outside contractor would be left to run numbers based on past experience and any forecasts provided by vendors as to the future price, which would produce a budget free from internal knowledge and free from internal biases. The president does not, according to your bylaws, have discretion to spend money. Apparently that authority has been set in the SOPs, but that somehow refers to reserve expenditure, while most expenses should be from operating accounts, not reserves. That said, I suspect that the reserve study is in the 2022 budget, which is at least recognizes that it is likely there will be this expense, that there is a member-approved amount for the expense and a recognized plan for getting a reserve study, to the point that if it was not arranged for by the board, that the members would probably have a good reason to be unhappy with the board.
If I can, yeah. What it, right. But what it is that we have the discretion for the board. We've never done it that way, but it doesn't mean that that is the way that it always can be. The board has the right to be its own committee, to have its own finance committee to do the board budget. SOPs, that is exactly why, Mary, they are not on the website, because they are strictly guidelines for the board to work.
Okay, but the guidelines do state a Florida statute which would supersede in this case.
Okay.
And he's evidently not taking that into consideration, if I'm understanding that letter correctly.
SOPs can be thrown right out. We
I
don't
know they
even
can.
need this is a new point with the SOPs. The thing is that the attorney says that we are fine, and that's the end of discussion. There's no discrimination. She does her finance committee. She's the treasurer.
And we have already served on that, but the point being is, it's not a question of the SOP fails, it's the question of the Florida statute that's stated in the SOP. And that is a governing document of Florida. It's in your SOPs, you have it.
Thank you.
Any more discussion? Okay. May we have a vote to accept these names for the Finance Committee? All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. We'll now have the report of the directors. Let's start down with Lyle
Just one more
today.
thing, Anna, before we
Oh,
conclude.
okay.
I just want to remind people that my finance committee, we will be meeting, our first meeting will be on July 8th, 2022. That's a Friday at 1:30 p.m. here in the North Hall.
And that is an open meeting. Anybody can come. Is that correct?
That is
Nobody
correct.
can. You can only observe. No questions.
Lyle, do you have anything to bring?
Well, during this week, it is on. Hello. Well, we started going through the rules and regulations. Dale is doing a super job leading us through that, so I'm quite sure everything will be squared away probably probably going to take us around 6 months to get through it all. So we'll keep pressing on and maybe we'll get an update from Gail. Thank you.
Thank you, Lyle. Leo? Nothing? Ken?
Yeah, oops, sorry, folks. I have a few things. I was asked at the last meeting that I was presiding over if I could obtain the fuel receipts for the vehicles. I did one better. The 2016 Sonic was giving us 10.1 miles per gallon. The 2017 was giving us 10.4. The silver pickup, which happens to be the one that Captain Schubert drives primarily during the daytime, all right, that is up over 21. I do not remember the numbers for the 4-cylinder. But, Lucy, I'm smart enough to press a button and read the numbers. I was also asked to find out about submittal forms or submittal dates for information to be read at the board. I went back to the SOP, which is not a governing document, it's an operating procedure. All right, it was undefined. It is currently under renovation. Pretty much all the questions that I had to bring before the membership at this meeting. I want to wish you all a happy 4th of July. Be safe, have fun. Thank you.
Jerry? Nothing. Gail?
The urban reps who are sitting over there, they are the people that welcome everybody into the community. And if they have any questions, their names and phone numbers and their unit numbers are in the book, in the news and views near the front. If anybody has any questions about the community, these ladies, no men right now, these ladies are very knowledgeable. If they don't know the answer, they will get you the answer. So they're doing a good job, and we're still about 20 to 25 a month of new residents coming in. So I thank them. They're doing a good job. They deserve. My God, it sounds like fireworks. Well, July is coming.
What a way to go. Rosemary, do you have anything?
No, I don't. I do have just 2 other quick things. The rules and regulations that Lyle was referring to. We have a committee right now that we had asked for people last year. We finally got the committee going, and they are reviewing our rules and regulations, which the last time that they were reviewed as a whole was about at least 14 years ago. So some of them are antiquated, some of them a little bit more long-winded, and some of them just don't pertain to Brookridge, which is going on 50 years old next year. So I have a pretty dedicated group. We run from 7 months to over 14 years of the people in here, so we're a pretty good cross-section. People are invited to come to the meetings, but you're not allowed to speak, but you're allowed to listen. If you have any questions afterwards, I give you my email address. So they are working very diligently on that, and as Lyle said, it's not going to be a 3-week program. We're really looking at all of them as a good perspective for everybody in the community. And just one thing, the beautification committee, I'm not the liaison, but I'm one of the, I try to help them out as much as I can. I'm on the committee, but, you know, I do other things. They have looked at the signs in the front. As you come into Brookridge, there are two signs that are those vendor signs or visitor signs or something, and they're brown and they're kind of cracked, and I think it's from all the diesel. So we are looking at, because there's no other entity to do this, so the beautification committee would like to look at replacing those signs. By next month, we will know how much it's going to cost, and we will be looking for donations. We're hoping that it's not a big cost, but if we can get, you know, 50 or 60 bucks from each neighborhood, we can replace them, because otherwise we don't have the money to do that. So next month, I believe that they're looking into them this coming month. They're giving surprise faces, but they have mentioned it. So I will let you know by August, so we can work a little bit better at making Brookridge a little bit nicer place. Thank you.
I want to remind everyone about our July 4th picnic. I think it starts around 12 o'clock. There'll be food, some giveaways. We're going to have a 50-50. We'll be selling some baskets, sort of like a Chinese auction. So come and have a hot dog and sit and spend some time with your friends. So I'm going to take questions now. So let's start on this side, please.
Anna, could, just before we do member comments, can I talk about the garage sale?
Oh,
All right, okay. In the past, Jackie McCabe has handled what we call the neighborhood garage sale in the fall. At this time, she feels that she cannot continue to do this. What we're looking for is someone to sponsor the fall garage sale, and they would be responsible for assigning tables and setting the thing up, collecting donations. We're thinking at this time that it would be sometime in October, but if someone would be willing to step forward, some club, committee, or whatever, would be willing to step forward and take over the fall garage sale, it would be greatly appreciated. And all the proceeds, the tables themselves, the people that purchase those tables, whatever money they make, that is theirs to pocket. We make money off of just the sales of the tables and our own separate garage sale table. That's the only money that we get. But if anybody's interested in doing this, you can contact me and I will give you the information to get from Jackie McCabe.
Thank you, Rosemary. Does anybody up here have anything else to say? I will remind you that there'll be no workshop in July. We'll have a regular meeting the end of July, the third Wednesday of the month. Okay, if there are any questions on this side, does anyone have a question over here? Okay, any questions on this side?
Okay, my first is, you said the audit is not available yet? Larry Miller, Unit 2? That the audit is not available? Didn't I see a check was paid last month for $7,000 for this?
No, you did not. You saw a check for $37.50 paid to the reserve study.
Oh, okay. I was off the pool, and I noticed there's no license posted. Supposed to have a license out there that says they're qualified to operate that pool. Is that going to get corrected?
Yes, it is. We're in the process of hiring another manager for the club, and those things will be taken care of, Larry.
Reserve study, that is done.
so I could actually walk in there and look at it. Correct?
It's finished. We don't have the hard copy. We've asked them a couple times, and we're waiting for them to send a hard copy. As soon as we get it, I'd be happy to call you, Larry.
Good. The other question I have, you said something about a program that we gotta buy because our program is full. Do you have a rough idea what that's gonna cost?
You want to sit down?
No, I can't see it. I don't think so.
It'll average around $25,000.
I guess that's about 10 times higher than I thought it would be. All right. Gosh, I've run out of questions.
Anyone else? Okay. I have Bill here that wants to talk, and Jim, did you already talk about what you, okay, then you didn't raise your hand.
Okay, Bill. Nothing personal. I'm that guy.
That's why it's there, Jim.
Good evening, Bill Riley, Unit 4. Thank you, everybody on the board, for your time and your, it's gotta be a, cut! All right. Sorry, at least it wasn't that bullhorn. A couple things, I did listen with great interest to the communication or correspondence that was received from the gentleman that wants to have a 4th of July parade. Thank you, sir, for caring so much about your community. Yeah. Speaking of correspondence, you know where I'm going. Why doesn't my correspondence make it to the president? Don't need an answer? Just saying. Also, not to move too far off the subject, way off the subject, speeding and speed limits. Speeding and speed limits. And I have this conversation all the time. People don't seem to understand the speed limit is the end. Don't go anymore. For instance, if you're standing at the edge of the world and you can go 2 more steps, go for it, would you? The limit is the limit. Slowing down for a stop sign. I'm going to try to make this quick because I know I'm running out of time. A police officer, welcome by the way, stops a vehicle. They kind of coasted through the stop sign. And the officer said, well, you didn't stop. He said, well, I slowed down. So the officer pulled out his belly club and started tapping him on the head. He said, stop it, stop it. Do you want me to stop or do you want me to slow down? I love that. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. So all of you are perfect, I know. It's the people that aren't here that are speeding, that, blow through. I saw somebody, I swear they accelerated through the stop sign. I'm telling you, and I don't have a solution, but man, that's a problem. That's a problem. Seems to me I had one more thing to cry about, but
News and views, what's your other comment?
news and views?
That's what you have here.
Oh, yes, thank you. Patrona. I'm sorry, that was impolite. Patrona, 2 months in a row, has had the news and views out early. She's trying to break my brain. Trying to break my brain. All I've ever heard is that it's always late, it's always late, it's always, and it's like, okay, if it's late, it's late. It's not always her fault. She's early twice, for Pete's sake. Give her a raise. Give her both of those extra nickels you find. I don't know. I guess, finally, Mr. Duncan. Yes, sir. I want you to have a happy and safe 4th of July as well, and everybody else on the board. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bill.
Bill, it's always a pleasure.
Anyone else? You want to? Yes.
It's Jim Westbrook, Unit 2. I have a non-budget question. Brookridge employees are, in my opinion, are the greatest asset that we have in this community.
Absolutely.
I think you would all agree with that.
Absolutely.
Over the last few months and maybe days, weeks, or months, I believe that we're a little bit short-staffed. What I'd like to recommend is that we provide an economic independence day for our employees. Call it a July 4th freedom bonus for a Brookridge first responder bonus by giving each of our employees $50. I think there's 36 or so of them. That's $1,800 out of our budget. I'd like to make a motion that we authorize that money and pay them the July 4th freedom bonus.
We can't do anything at this meeting, but,
Possibly one of the 7 of you could make a motion to do that.
right, we have to do it, we actually have to put it on the next agenda because we can't make motions. But Jim, it's something that we can.
I understand.
can
To
afford.
me, it's pretty simple. It's either yes or it's no. Thank you.
Jim, I just would like to tell you that the ladies of Brookridge have thought about that, and we will be giving a luncheon to every employee in this development, hopefully in August, and it won't be sandwiches and hot dogs. Okay.
I was thinking the $50 would allow them to get a gallon of milk or a gallon of gas.
A gallon of gas. Is there any other questions or concerns or? Well, I'm happy to see all of you here. I hope you all have a wonderful 4th of July. Come to our party and sit and visit with everybody. Be safe until we see you again. May I have a motion to adjourn? May I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Meeting adjourned.
That's what we do.